All right. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well today. So, I wanted to really take this time to make sure that, YouTube did it again, folks. YouTube did it again. I am obviously got censored for about a week or so because I changed the title of the live video. I didn't even say or mention anything that was controversial or part of their guidelines. I just changed the title to something that was pro LG. You know what I mean? In fact, it was pro their causes. It's pro their agendas. And despite that, I got my video taken down. It's unbelievable, folks. It really is. And when they took down the video, they took it down automatically. They cut it off. They didn't let me re-edit it. I appealed it. They didn't overturn it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the reason why they cut it down was mainly due to medical misinformation. It's unbelievable, folks. It's unbelievable. I mean, how is that medical misinformation? My title was basically not necessarily showing that I'm against, I'm opposed, I'm critical of a certain SJW woke agenda. I'm not going to explain what the title is, because if I do, YouTube is going to take down this video. But they've done this many, many times, folks. This is getting out of hand. It really is sickening. I'm getting really tired of this. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's just sickening, folks. It's just unbelievable. How insane could this really get? I mean, is this going to get to the point where I say right behind me the sky is blue, the sun is setting down, and my video is going to be taken down? It's ridiculous. And the thing is like, why are you uploading in this system after all what they did to you? Well, here was the thing. One of my strikes was about to go away on June the 5th, so I uploaded this on the 3rd. So I thought, oh, okay, it's about to end. It's not going to be a big deal. And then right after, when I hoped that all my strikes were going to, they gave me another strike. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just absolutely shocking. What do you think? This is just sad, folks. This is just sick. It's, to me, it's like, it's just ludicrous. I really do believe YouTube just wants to give me a hard time. They want to push me around. They want to make me feel awful. So that way they can essentially make me give up and say, you know what, screw this. I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I just move on, never come back. And as a result, they don't want my voice. They don't want my impact. And it shows more likely that the things we are talking about is true. Now, why all of a sudden can you actually speak about what happened in the 2020 election? Why did about what you believe about some fishy things that happened? Why? They changed their policy. Why? What is going on? Now they basically undid their policy. So doesn't that prove, after all these years and all these times, that our assumptions, our evidence is actually right? And just like many other issues they've been trying to censor, they censored me before once about race. I mean, are they going to undo that? And now that's going to prove us right? Think about it. I've been talking about that for many, many years. It's just unbelievable, folks. It's unbelievable. And you think that we're just going to go away. You're going to stop us. No, we have other platforms. I'm growing in Rumble. I don't need you guys. You guys suck. You guys are a disaster. And even when I want to post other topics like what's being built and how we should build things here in Vegas, and not to mention talking about the stock market, I still don't want to waste my time with you knuckleheads. Google, you're literally a disaster. Wasting my time. It's unbelievable, folks. It's just sickening. And I don't know where to go with this. I mean, let's look at the news, what's going on. It's a joke. They're trying to indict Trump, and we all know they're doing this because it's obvious. He's a competitor. He's going to essentially shake things up in the election. He's likely to defeat this current regime. But even if he goes to jail, folks, it doesn't really matter. Because any of us, we can have a similar agenda, fix this country, get this country back, and things are going to move forward. We already have the plan. We see increasingly month after month of what they've been doing to our country and who's at fault. Wall Street, the deep state, all these agencies, CIA. I mean, you just go down the line. It's a joke. It's just theater. It's a sham. This indictment is a complete. It's such a joke. And look, I mean, even though Trump might have did things that were kind of fishy, how is that going to make my life better? How is that going to make me richer, improve my quality of life? I care about whether the money I have in my pocket is able to buy enough goods so I can survive. That's what I care about. I care about what's happening at the border. There's human traffickers and everything that's going on. And what kinds of people that's coming in. Just like I have the right to know what kind of food goes in my body, believe it or not. It's absolutely unbelievable. Now, on the bright side, there's a lot of reports that we're getting deflation in some particular items, or we will be getting overall deflation because the inflation rate is coming down. Now, of course, I don't believe that 4% they tell you, and nor I believe the doom and gloomers, because many of the doom and gloomers last year were like, yeah, buy gold, we're going to get hyperinflation, and look where we are now. I mean, gas is now, what, like $3.70 a gallon? At least that's what I pay. Last year was like $5. It was such a joke. Rent prices are coming down. I just read an article that the Las Vegas area has the fastest declining rent rates. It's about time. But it's not just the rental rates. It's the housing they give you. The quality, the size, the amenities. It's a joke. I don't really need a gated area. I don't need a gym. I don't even need a one-bedroom apartment. And at the same time, I don't like these apartments where it's like the refrigerators suck. Like the doors, they don't open like in a French door fashion. The sink faces the wall. What the hell is this? We don't have the kind of housing that a lot of us desire. We could really build a lot more casitas too. Now, the food inflation is tapering down. I mean, I bought a lot of good deals, good items at natural grocers. I'm not seeing shortages. People kept talking about, well, we were going to have incredible food shortages and everything. That's starting to turn over, especially with eggs. People thought eggs was going to be $15, but now I got clearance eggs, organic, 18 count for what, $2.50? Basically, things are not getting worse. I mean, just be happy things could have been worse, but they're not. And if you go to natural grocers, if you go to Trader Joe's, or even in Southern California, which I'm going to visit next week, if you go to a lot of these places, you can really beat these overpriced groceries. Not to mention there's a store that I go to, Aldi's and Grocery Outlet, down south. I wanted to talk about the illegal alien invasion. And I was listening to the Wayne Allen Root show, and they were talking about some people in New York that, yeah, okay, the policy sucks. Just like ballot harvesting, you can just essentially take the system and use it for your own advantage. And that's how some of the seats were flipped. But when it comes to the illegals, we can take advantage of this. We can make sure that they don't overcrowd our cities, that they don't go on welfare, that we get them some kind of work. Of course, work that basically is not going to create a lot of job competition. So we can kind of mitigate the effects. We can get these people to support the values of our country so they don't become tools of the deep state, foot soldiers. You know what I mean? So there are ways that we can mitigate this effect. It's not like it's just completely game over. Okay? And I'm pretty confident this is going to be reversed. We're going to fight back. There's going to be mass deportations. A lot of states are fighting back. But unfortunately, this state is not as aggressive. And speaking of Nevada, folks, I didn't support the stadium deal. I'm not. At least they could make the project more mixed use. There was mass opposition. But this is just to show you. I've been telling this for years. We really don't have a representative form of government. As you know, after the mob was running this town, we had the deep state, crooked elements take over the casinos, hijack the unions, use their one county central control, Clark County, to essentially run the whole show. And now as a result, we've got this monster, this cabal that literally, in a way, dictates how we should live. And the stadium deal basically passed the Senate. I pretty much know where this is going to go forward. It's pretty one-sided. They shoved this down through. To be honest with you, how is this going to go through? Look, I don't know about you, but I think sports is really overrated. Just like a lot of other things, like pets. It's really overrated. I mean, you're just going crazy. You're watching things that it's not going to really affect you. It's just entertainment that doesn't really contribute much to society. And this comes down to all this massive spending that they're doing. Look, folks, Nevada is really at a crossroads right now. Okay? And that's another thing. This was really stuck in my head. Yeah, it's a distraction from all their problems. Just like the mass celebrities, this whole garbage culture that they impose on. Why do you think the society is in the mess we are now? Because for decades we were distracted or we were misinformed. Look where we are now. And just like a lot of other issues that I talked about, the way we build our cities, our poor financial decisions. It's mass media deception, folks. And that's what it's all about. Nevada's really at a crossroads, folks, when you think about it. All this increased spending for Medicaid expansion, illegals, I mean, you just go down the line, folks. Our state is in a crossroads right now. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, we're going to be California East. I disagree. First of all, we don't have the college influence, which pushes all the woke agendas. But not to mention, look, for many decades, states like New York, Massachusetts, Illinois, California, they said, okay, we can be messed up, but people are still willing to live here. We've got the cosmopolitan cities. These cities got great culture, large amount of jobs or geographical advantage. And even in California, they have the climate. So these states have been able to get away with these things for decades. But here in Nevada, we hardly have any of that. And folks, if we try to raise taxes, which was our main advantage of living in the state, a lot of companies and people are going to get out. And if we try to become like those states, it's going to be a disaster here. And folks, I would actually imagine we would probably be a lot like New Mexico. New Mexico, their economy is barely growing. They have rampant problems of drug abuse and crime and all the things that you can imagine. The state is slugging compared to Texas and Arizona. It's not looking good, folks. And the only reason why Nevada, I think, has been getting worse, yeah, California indirectly has an impact, because once California gets worse, all those other states think, okay, we can go down this path and we still remain competitive. Because if they did 50 years ago, it would have been a disaster here. They could not push transgender ideology or commerce tax in 1955 here in Nevada. the state economy would literally suffer a lot. So now that other states like California get worse, they realize, oh, okay, we can do the same thing, and there's not going to be much consequences. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that Nevada's economy is going to be an utter disaster if they raise taxes. It's not going to work out. The only way they can possibly pump this up is through the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve, folks, it's the thing that allows all these money laundering, the Ukraine, all this extra dollars gets pumped into the wasteful California high-speed rail project. Again, I support high-speed rail, but that project has got to change. There's a lot of money laundering going on. And, of course, they're going to try to pump the Nevada fiscal irresponsibility from the Federal Reserve by creating dollars out of nothing. And they've been able to do this for so long with these low interest rates. But if these interest rates are going to keep climbing, and we're seeing all these other countries move out of the dollar, the question is, how is this going to continue? It really doesn't make sense to me. So, and they're not spending like they used to because they're realizing that, well, there's all these economic consequences when you spend lots and lots of money. Because if all this spending was so great, yes, spending does have some economic benefits. You can argue that it puts more dollars into the economy. It boosts the earnings of these corporations. It's good for the stock market. However, if it was all that great, then why don't we have $10 trillion budget deficits? Why? Why don't we do that? It doesn't make sense. So we're really having a limit here. And that, to me, is showing that Nevada is going to be in turmoil. We don't have the wealthy folks nor the large corporations to support a tax base. We haven't diversified our economy a lot. Folks, I don't think this is going to go anywhere very well, to be honest with you. But just going back, I'm going to wrap it up. YouTube, you suck. You're a bastard. You're a filthy scumbag. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. All I did is change my title, a title that actually didn't seem to be very unfavorable, to believe it or not. And as a result, I'm getting really sick and tired of this, folks. I really am. You guys need to spread my word. You need to get this information out there to make sure that we solve these problems. We know what's going on. Honestly, folks, I think YouTube's going to be in a lot of trouble in the coming years. There's just no question about it. It's just all the crap that they've done, all the silencing and everything. And you can try, but it's not going to work. More and more people are waking up, folks. They really are. They really. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. I think I'm in Odyssey, BitChute, CYRUS992, Cyrus992. Take a look at my channel. One of my videos, I got like several hundred views. All right, what do you guys think? I'm going to wrap it up in about a minute. I'll let you guys speak if you want. What do you guys think? It's not that hot, believe it or not. I mean, usually we would be getting temperatures well into the hundreds. I mean, we barely got above 95 degrees so far this year. And it's feeling pretty good. All this cloud cover. It makes me think that all the things I'm hearing about, all these things are spraying in the sky and it's modifying our weather. It makes me think it's actually true. I mean, how could we have these temperatures in this time of the year? And considering the winter we had, unbelievable. Many times I saw snow falling from the sky, almost as if like the winters here in Vegas are like, well, we've become like a climate like Reno and Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, like a mid-latitude, semi-arid climate. Yeah. All right, I'm going to read this question. Who's paying for the F1 racing? Yeah, that's a very good point. And another thing I wanted to point out about the stadium plan is, look, folks, remember when the Golden Knights came? That's when they started to charge for parking, along with Uber was activated. Think about that. So that started all the nickel and diming. These hotel and casinos, they've been nickel and diming because they know people are naive enough to pay extra prices to pay for these overpriced sporting events. It really is. It really is. And it's sad that people are so obsessed with sports that they would allow this to happen. Unbelievable. I don't know what to tell you, folks. Nobody really in my life really got me interested in sports. I had some interest in basketball, and I still sort of do, but it's like you've got other things to be concerned about. The way the world is right now, why would you want to get involved and be so over obsessed with these things? It really doesn't make sense. And not to mention all the celebrity crap and paparazzi. Movies, music, TV shows, they're not what they used to be 15, 25 years ago. I'm telling you. It's just not. It's certainly not a good time to be distracted. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm just though I'm going to stay optimistic. I know a lot of these people are going to be coming down. All right, everybody, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I will see you guys soon. Yeah. Screw you, YouTube.